I just had a question before we start the session. I was actually doing a Migo on a Pivo in 1610, and I'm getting a short dump saying a row already exists with this key. Now, is this a known error or is this a new one?
I don't think so. Can you give me the PO number?
Yeah, the PO number is 37 45000037. Oh sure, man, it says it might have been locked. My remote desktop's connection just went down. Let me try again. No, put SHRM. SHRM.
SHRM?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay, let me just try the PO that I created yesterday. Okay, maybe what we will do, Ravi, is anyways I'm going to show you this scenario. So there is one configuration missing which I just need to show you how to maintain that, and then we'll try if this is working. If there is a problem with your company code, that is fine, but if it is a problem with the server, then we need to go back to technical team. Let's check. I think it should not be the problem because last week we resolved whatever issues we were getting. Let's see.
Yeah, I understand. No problem. You can do it later. One more question I have is, can you show me the node where there was a output determination you set up for slog, which is having the OPD transaction.
Yes.
For all document types and purchase organization slog, it was determining automatically the output type.
Right.
And what I was trying to do was I was trying to add my purchase organization also to that output determination. So automatically it shows up on my PO as well. It was saying that can you show me first how to add? I think I got it, but it was not accepting my change because it was logged under your transport. Is that earlier in ECC we can just always change the output determination settings and give my transport. It looks like that option is not there anymore.
Okay, so you need to go into this cross application components. Within this you need to go to output control.
Control, yeah.
Okay, and these are the options. So if you want to go for OPD, this is the transaction, defined business rules for output determination. So what are you trying to configure here?
Purchase order.
Okay, and
step output type.
Okay.
And it pulls up the output type that you have set up that for slog. Correct? So I was trying to do two things. One is add my purchasing organization also to this slog by clicking edit and then include a new condition.
Okay.
And when I do that, then when I was trying to activate, do you want to save it? It says, and when I try to save it, it displays a message saying the message, the meaning of the message was basically it says that it is locked under the transport ending with 59, which is I think keywords.
No, it should not go for transport actually, because as we discussed in the last session that normally the configuration that we do here in this SPRO node, okay, so whatever configuration you do here, that comes under the TR, like the TR should be available, but this is normally given to the users who are going to change their settings according. Maybe this first step may be possible because the output type is something which is not going to be changed by vendor to vendor. It is normally the same output, but the other things like whether who is going to be the, what will be the channel, what will be the printer settings, these all things normally are maintained. So I think there are both the options available, like you can make it as modifiable without the transport, and you can also restrict that it should be done by the transport. So let me check with the technical team. I got your point. So if you're getting this message, what I'll do is I will just add another line, or maybe I'll keep this blank so that you can proceed this output type, but check other things. If they are also getting the same errors, then we need to check with the technical team that why it is asking for transport, because this should be handled by the users directly.
Yeah, I didn't try the other ones. I tried to add one more line. Can you show me quickly how to add one more line? I just went, what I did is I went to the bottom and clicked that add a line in the table contents.
This is the insert new row.
Insert new row, right? So that is another, that is for if I want to do it for a particular document type and a particular organization combination.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then do what here? Select expression or create expression. What do we have to do on that pop-up?
Okay, so let's say for example, if I want to add something here, instead of this, I'll just click here. Okay, this will take me to this particular screen. Okay, no need to click on expression and all. You can just click here, 3 dots.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and here you can select your output type. Let's say for example, let's go for
Purchase order.
Purchase order. See, this is confusing because NB normally stands for purchase order. So we need to select here this itself. This is actually confusing because if you remember that in the ECC we were using NB for this, but if you go for the other browser-based technologies, there are some, like we see in VN and LF, that is a confusion here. So just click on NB and you click on the purchase organization, whatever you want to select here. It is same.
Okay, yeah, SH01.
SH01, okay. And yeah, this is done. And then you can decide the output type. Let's say I want to keep it same.
Yeah. So now in the numbers, you see that it is 1 and 2. The yours has become number 2. Is that because the one that you are adding now is having more definitive for this document, for this purchase organization, determine this output, and if it doesn't find that particular condition, then it goes to the number 2. Is that how the sequence works?
Exactly. Right. This is the access sequence.
Okay. All right. So now what have happened? How do I save this here? Is there a button for that? Or?
Yes. Just to click on OK. So this line is added now. There is no save. It is activate. If you click on activate, it will ask you. You really want to activate? Yes.
So this is when I click yes, then it was giving me a transport error.
You must be getting the error here, right?
Yes. So that's probably maybe it is set up now to ask for a transport request.
All right. So just do one thing. Now this output type is already determined. Regarding the others, receivers and channels, if you are getting the same error, then you can just send me the screenshot of what error you are getting, and we'll check with the basis. Like, is there any settings from where this transport it should not ask for the transport, because this is going to be handled by the user.
And also, can you give us your email ID so that we can reach out to you during the week instead of waiting for the whole week?
Yes. It is Gaurav, Gaurav. I'll just write on the chat screen.
Yeah, that way.
Okay, I written on the chat screen, so you can reach out to me, whatever like errors you are getting in the system, just write me on this mail and I'll come back to you.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so let's start. If you have any further questions, I'll give you the time towards the end of the session. Okay, now in the last week we discussed regarding the material ledger functionality and some of the other functionalities related to MM. We created the purchase order order, we discussed the purchase output determination, like how exactly the purchase order will be printed. And then we talked about how do we go for MIGO. And at the time of MIGO, we got an error that material ledger is not activated, without which system was not allowing us to proceed. And as I told you that in that scenario, the reason for that error was that material ledger was not mandatory till now, although that functionality was available, but it was optional for the customer whether they want to use it or not. But now with SAP S4HANA, the material ledger activation has become mandatory. And I told you what are the steps OMX1 and CKM start. These are the two things that you need to do if you are not bothered about the controlling or material ledger functionalities activation. Only from the technical point of view you can use the transactions, but if it is really required, then you need to involve your controlling team to do that configuration. Okay, apart from this, we talked about the simplified pricing. The table KONV has been replaced with PRCD underscore elements. Okay, so PRCD underscore elements is a new table which is going to store all your condition records. Okay, and the last thing that we discussed was in in pricing, the excesses within the excess sequence. Like earlier it was only 99 excesses you can create, which means 2 digits. But now it has been increased to 3 digits. That is, you can have up to 999 excess within the excess sequence, right? Apart from this, one very important thing which we need to discuss from the materials management point of view is, let me just show you these two screens here. So Ravi, can you just mute yourself? There is some background noise. Yeah, thank you. So this is my ECC screen. I'm just opening the ECC screen here. Sorry. Okay, this is my EHP7 screen. Now in this, if I go for MM01, when I create the material, or maybe MM03, I just want to show you one particular scenario. So this is my material which I want to extend for this particular plant. Let's say 0001. Now here you have two type of pricing controls in ECC also and in SAP S4HANA also. One is the standard pricing and second is the moving average price. What is the difference? This is a valuation, right? So if you specify that for this particular material, this is going to be the standard cost or standard price for this material, whatever inventory transactions will be done for this material, it will be done at this particular price. So let's say, for example, if you specified here that for this particular material, the standard price is 100 USD. Even if you purchase the material at 110 USD, 100 will be booked against this material and 10 will go to the variance account. Alright, so this material will always show you that the standard price is 100. Whatever stock is available, it will be updated with standard price as 100. Another option is moving average price, in which you will be selecting V here. Alright, and what is the purpose of this? Material will be evaluated at the actual cost. Like whatever cost the material will be purchased, that will be evaluated at that particular cost. So if I'm purchasing the material at 110, it will be available in my inventory at 110 only. If I'm purchasing at 120, then it will be the moving average will be calculated between the quantities. Let's say if I have 10 quantities with 110 and 10 quantities with 120. So the average will be calculated and all the 20 quantities will be available at a particular average price. So that is the difference between standard and moving average, which was available from years. There is nothing new here. Only new thing is in ECC, if you maintain the standard cost here, if you say my standard cost is 100, system also calculates the moving average price for each and every transaction. Even if S is maintained here, system calculates the moving average price and that is statistically available in the material master. So this field is normally used for that. Moving average price, even if the material is evaluated at standard cost, you can see the moving average price appears here. Okay, or maybe in the reportings also you can get this information like what is the statistical moving average price. So first of all, what was the reason for that? Why it was updated? There was no specific reason. The only reason was the architecture was designed in such a way. Even if you save the material cost irrespective of whether it is standard or moving average, the price was getting calculated for each and every record. Okay, and this calculation of price was a very big task. Big task in the terms, again it is in the seconds. I'm not saying it will take hours or minutes, but definitely it was consuming lot of memory resources to calculate that moving average or statistical moving average cost. See, in case if the material is evaluated at moving average, perfectly fine. Whatever resources are required, it has to be there, right? But unnecessarily, if we are already saying the standard cost is available and we are evaluating this material as standard cost, then there is no point in having the statistical moving average price available for the particular product. That is the reason in SAP S4HANA, the statistical moving average price has been become as obsolete, which is not available now. So moving average price is not available, but again that is optional. Okay, so if the customer is really interested, even if the system is getting a lot of resources, but still he is using it for some reporting purpose or something, then definitely you can decide whether I want to use this or not. But SAP strongly recommends that deactivate this particular functionality and don't hold any statistical moving price going forward. Right, so I'll just show you the same thing in SAP S4HANA now. So this is my SAP S4HANA system. If I go for MM03, there are some changes in the descriptions also. So if I go for this particular material, accounting 1, and for plant S-log. Okay, so you can see standard price and the description has been changed as per unit price. Okay, so in this case, this is perfectly fine because we are maintaining as pricing control as V, which is it is a moving average price. That is the reason it is getting calculated. Okay, but going forward means if you are using the standard cost here, this amount will not get calculated at all. Okay, and as I told you, this is still available as a choice. So how are you going to deactivate this? By default, if you are going on premise version, let's say for in this particular server, it is by default it is activated. So by default it will keep on adding this information here. But for the cloud solution, for the on cloud version, this is by default deactivated and there is no option of activation also. In case of on-premise, the option is still available. Why? There is a proper reason for that. In case of on-premise, there can be both the customers. There can be new customers also and there can be the system conversion customers who are using these functionalities from years. Right, so for them, if they are already using it and they already generated some reports or something which they don't want to get away with, so in that case, the option is still available. But for the cloud customers, it is very clear, it is not available at all. Okay, so for cloud point of view, by default it will be deactivated. For on-premise point of view, it will be activated, but SAP strongly recommends even if it is activated, just go and deactivate that. Okay, so there is a proper program through which you can deactivate this particular thing. So if you go to SE38, this is a program, SAP RCKM. You will get this information. I'll show you where exactly you'll find this program name and all. It is very specifically written in the simplification list also. Okay, so if you run this program, currently you can see this is already switched on. Okay, which means no need to perform anything. But one thing to make sure that before executing this program, if your functionality is currently active and you want to deactivate it, in that case, once you deactivated it, it is not again possible to activate. Okay, so it should not happen, okay, let's deactivate it and afterwards, oh, I done it in the mistake, I want to roll back. That is not possible. Once it is deactivated, it will remain deactivated. Okay, so currently this program is already executed once in the system. That is the reason you are getting the info that lock already switched on. So which means this functionality is already deactivated in the system. Okay, so in case of cloud, you don't need to run this transaction. In case of on-premise, you have two options. If the customer is okay to deactivate this functionality, you will run this transaction. If the customer still wants to use the statistical average price, then no need to run this program. So this is only applicable for the customers for which there is no need of statistical moving average price. Clear? This is again part of the material ledger functionality, because within the material ledger tables, if I show you in ECC, so if you see this table name, this was stored in MBEW. See, this was available in MBEW, but now if you see, even that field is available, that is coming from the structure, which means no more available. Okay, so this is one thing which I wanted to show you. Now what I'll do is, whatever transactions we have done till now, okay, we done from the old GUI point of view. We have done all these things in the traditional way that we were doing. But now let's go for doing the transactions through SAP Fiori, so that you become more comfortable in what are the different apps available, how are we going to do the transactions from SAP Fiori. So for that, let me again go back to SAP S4HANA system. And this is the Launchpad. So in your case, I am not sure because this is favorite. So it may happen that this favorite is available for me and it is not available for you. So you just need to click on this Launchpad, allow. So if that is not available with you, you can just copy this. Okay, I'm just copying this and sending it to all of you through the chat screen, which is a link which will allow you to do the transactions from SAP Fiori. Okay, so this link is already shared with you. Now, last time, if you remember, we talked about SAP Fiori. We had the overview on SAP Fiori, like what exactly is a Launchpad, what are the different kind of apps, what is the difference between transactional apps and analytical apps, okay, and how can you bring some, how can you delete a particular app from here, how you can bring that app, it is role based and all that things we discussed. But last time, if you remember, it was taking a huge time. It was taking a lot of time to load these apps. The reason was many different roles were assigned to my ID. If I show you precisely, these are the different roles which are available to my ID. And that is the reason it was taking a lot of time to upload that, or sorry, to load that page. Okay, so you can see all different kind of apps related to simple finance, related to sales, related to purchase, related to whatever different, even the HR, all the roles were available to me. That is the reason it was taking a lot of time to load these apps. But as I told you, normally doesn't happen. Normally in the company, there are different departments. So even within the purchasing, there will be different apps which will be used by different persons. So for example, if I'm a purchase processor or a purchase requisition creator, I'll be only able to create a purchase requisition. If I'm a purchase order creator, I don't need the good receipt, right? Good receipt will be available with the warehouse. That is the reason you can see currently, if I show you my ID in this same server, I removed all these roles and I just assigned the roles which are relevant to materials management. Okay, so now if I show you these roles, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 7 roles are assigned to me. Okay, the account payables, why? Because if I want to do the Miro, so that is also related. Inventory manager, purchaser, purchasing manager, and warehousing clerk. So these are the different roles which are assigned to me. That is the reason the amount of time taken to load this app is minimized. Now, if you remember last time, it was taking a lot of time, so it is good if I explain you once again. So this is my home page, which is also called as a Launchpad. Why it is called as a Launchpad? Because it is providing us the access screen from where we can use different kind of transactions. So within this, the apps are divided into different groups. These are the different groups. So daily business, checks, supplier accounts, payments, correspondence, these are different groups. If I click on a particular group, it will take me to the apps which are relevant to that. For example, if I want to go for purchase order processing, it will allow me the transactions which are related to purchase order processing. Now let's say, for example, if I want to delete this, because create purchase order and create purchase order advance, these are the two different apps which are serving the same purpose. So I decided I don't want to use this, I want to delete this. So that option is also available. Although from the role, this app is already available with you, but you can still control whether I want to see this on my Launchpad or not. So in order to personalize your own Launchpad, you will click on this user button, okay? And here you can click on this edit home page. Okay, if I click on edit home page, the home page will be available to me, and it is allowing me to delete a particular app, and it is also allowing me to add a particular app. So let's say I decided I don't want to use this, create purchase order advanced. If I click on delete this, so, sorry, what was the, yes, it was deleted. I think it was available 2 times. So that is now deleted. Okay, now once I'm done, I'll just click on this done button. Your changes have been saved, you are no longer in edit mode. So now I'm in the normal mode, and you can see that particular app is no more available. Similarly, I realized that although I have access of a particular app, but I don't know whether it was deleted by me or it is not coming from the beginning, but I want that particular app to be available under my role. So again, I can go back, I can go to this user button, click on edit home page, and here, based on in which group I want to add. So currently I am in which group? I am in, this is source of management. I don't want to create in this. Let's say I will go to the same thing, purchase order processing. Now within purchase order processing, there is a plus button. I'll click on this and it will load the catalog. Catalog means the list of apps for which I am authorized. So in SAP, let's say there are 1000 apps. It is not necessary that all the 1000 apps will be available to me. If I'm from the purchasing point of view, only let's say 100 apps are available to me. Out of that, I can control whether what I want to use and what I don't want to use. So I'll just come here and create purchase order. As you can see, as I'm changing this, this is also getting changed. Okay, it is, when I change this, it is like Google. When you write something, it is filtering according to the characters that you are entering here. So you can see this is already added, right? Create purchase order is already added. These two things are not added till now. So let's say, for example, I'll just click on this add button, and you'll get a message that this tile has been added to purchase order processing. Once you are done, again, what you'll do, you'll go here and I think you need to go back. Normally it should allow you the done button here. I'm not able to see that done. Yes, you can go to home page and click on done. So your changes have been saved. You are no longer in edit mode. Now I'm in the same thing. So create purchase order advance has been available now. So this is how you can play with the Launchpad, whatever apps you want to see, whatever apps you want to delete. Even there are other options also available here. Like if I go for settings, there's a lot of personalizations we can do. Like user account, you can enter your name and email. Normally this should come automatically based on your user ID. I think they are not maintained. That is the reason this is not coming. Appearance, in the way you can select the themes. So the current one that we are using is this one, and there is another one which is black, which is not very great. So this is the good thing. Then you go for language and region. You can specify here the default language. Again, this all things are coming from your this language is coming from your user ID, whatever has been maintained by the user, by the administrator, sorry. And you can change this date and time settings Okay, and you can click on save. So whatever things are available, let's say for example these things are not available because they are not allowed from the administration point of view, but whatever things are allowed you can change it from here, and you click you can click on save. User profiling, let's see what is this. In this feature is turned on, some of your activities will be recorded. This data will be used to provide. I need to check this. This is something which is not, which was not available in 15.11. This is something which is showing now itself. And the default values, very important. So for example, if you are a person who is normally going to work on a particular thing only, let's say you are part of a company code. Okay, there are 10 company codes in the system, but you are only going to do a particular transaction for a specific company code. So by default, these options will be available to you. Whatever you will specify here, it will be automatically defaulted in the transactions. Okay, so this is about the home page and the settings that you can do. Now coming to our transactions. So let's start off with the transactions now. I'll go on back. So this will, if I go to home page, this will give me the starting point from where I can do the transaction. So this is something which will be available to you as soon as you log in using your user ID and password. Your user ID and password will be exactly same what you used when you logged in into the traditional GUI. So there is no separate user ID and password available for this. Even the roles, as I told you, are maintained from the common place, which is SU01. So this consists of the standard roles from the GUI point of view also and from Fiori point of view also. Okay. Now let's run a particular scenario in which we'll start off with creation of purchase requisition. Then we'll convert that purchase requisition into purchase order. Then we'll do the goods receipt, and finally we'll do the Miro. So what I need to do first is I need to open the create purchase requisition screen. But as you can see, if there are a lot of different apps, it is difficult to find a particular app, right? So what you can do is you can click on this groupings, okay, and you directly go onto the particular group. So I'm going to this purchase requisition where I'm getting these options. So let's say if I click on create purchase requisition, now you will find this create purchase requisition app is just the web form of the screen that we were already getting in ECC without any changes. Right, so all this information what you were entering in ECC, same information it is asking you to enter, but it is only the web screen. That is the only difference. While there are some other apps which are completely simplified. So let's do this first, and then I'll show you what are the different kind of apps which are simplified ones. So let me select. Sorry, yes, Raghu?
One quick question here. So let's say you have a material group that you have configured in SAP. Does it automatically reflect in the app, or does anything else needs to be done? So when
Raghu, voice is not clear.
So is it any better now, or no, not really?
Looks like, yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so the question is, if you go back to the screen, so you could basically, there are some F4 values that you can see, correct? When you do an
F4 values.
Yeah. So let's say you configured a new one in SAP. Does it automatically reflect in the app, or do you need to again? So the new value also needs to be done something with the on the app.
No. This is online. This is real time. You don't need to do anything to update the values in Fiori. This is coming from the same database.
Okay, correct.
Even if you are changing a particular purchase requisition using SAP Fiori, and if you try to do the same thing through GUI, it will not allow, because they are just the two screens which are connected to the same database. There is no time lag in between.
Right. Okay. No. So one is, yes, I understand the same purchase order. Whatever updates you do either through SAP screen or Fiori screen will be the same. But even the let's say there is a material group that you're adding in SAP IMG, normal traditional GUI screen, new value. and that gets affected automatically in the Fiori app as well. I can see that real time.
Definitely, right? Definitely, because the database is common. It is only new screen, but the database is common.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just trying to search for the material. So let's say I want to use this material here. I'll just enter this quantity, some of the basic information like plant, storage location, purchasing group. I'm not entering the vendor now because I want to show you some new functionality which is called as simplified sourcing. I entered the material and all. This is the same information that we normally enter into ECC also, and this app is also very much same as what we see in ECC. So now let's click on this save button. Okay, and you can see the purchase requisition with this number has been created. Okay, now some of the screens, like this is my home page, right? When I clicked on this particular screen, it got opened into the new screen. It is not necessary that all the different apps will open in the new screen. Okay, it may happen that this home page itself is gone and you are getting the new screen. That is all possible because it depends upon the settings that are maintained when you configure the Fiori app. Your technical person, Fiori person has configured the Fiori app. So both the options are available. Like if you in the standard apps, it is defined that okay, if this is a particular app, open in the same screen, or if this is a particular app, open in the different screen. So maybe in your case, if you want that okay, this particular app is getting opened in the same screen, I want it to be get opened into the new screen. That is also possible from Fiori point of view. So you can ask your Fiori counterpart to do that. This is a common requirement. There are a lot of users who will ask you this kind of requirement that I'm opening and it is opening in the same screen. I want it to be opened into the different screen, for example. Okay, so create purchase requisition is done. If I click on home, it will take me to the same screen. Okay, but there is no point in using two same screens again and again, so I'll just close this. There is one question in the chat screen from Arijit. Just a minute. Before I proceed, let me answer that. Yes. Can I make changes to the PR created through SAP S4 Easy Access? Definitely yes. Again, same thing. These are just two different screens which are doing the same transaction. So the purchase requisition that we just created, we can go to the traditional GUI. Okay, and we can directly change this if you want from here. Okay, so it is giving you the option. Same purchase requisition is available here also. Okay, even let's say if I'm opening this purchase requisition here, if I go here and try to change the purchase requisition, for example, let me open this particular app. Let's say manage purchase requisition. I'll explain you this completely. This is a very good app, completely new app available. Okay, and now if I try to change this, okay, this is the source of supply. Source of supply is anyways not available, so let's try. Okay, so it is not allowing. Maybe we need to open some another app here, although it is not giving the error, but you can see the source has not been changed. So there are two sources of supply. I selected this, clicked on OK. It is not changing. It is not allowing you to change. Let's try to open this and change. This is not the normal error. Yeah, this is the purchase requisition which is getting opened. Might be this is not working correctly. So I will show you that particular scenario in some of the other example. Like when I try to change something on my purchase order, let me see if some app is available which is allowing me to change. So same thing if I try to do from two different screens, one from Fiori and other from traditional GUI, it is definitely not going to allow because it is like the same database we are trying to access from two different applications. I can give you a very good example here. Let's say you have the saving bank account in one of the bank. Let's say you have the bank account in Citibank. Now, Citibank allows you to do the transactions from mobile, okay, and it also allows you to do the transaction from the internet banking, which means you can do the transaction from laptop. So there are two screens which are connected to the same database. It should not happen at the same time you are trying to transfer the amount from two different screens. Okay, like there should be the lock. Let's say if you in your account it is only available balance is, let's say, 10,000 USD, and you are trying to transfer this 10,000 USD from two different applications at the same time, it will definitely create the locks. It will not allow you to do that. So this is also the same thing. So you have two different screens which are trying to access the same data, which should not be allowed, and it is not allowed in SAP, irrespective of whether you are using this SAP Fiori app or you are using the traditional GUI. Okay, I'll show you one scenario related to that. So now let me again go back to, we just created a purchase requisition. So this is a group, purchase requisition processing, which consists of lot of different apps. If I want to display the purchase requisition, I can go here. Okay, let's go for manage purchase requisition. Okay, now what is this app, manage purchase requisition? This is giving you the details of all the purchase requisition. It will show you all the purchase requisitions which are created in the system, which are unprocessed. Now, for example, here it is very clear because it is only showing you two purchase requisitions, and that too, I think one is from slog and another is from 2901. So now if I write a plant here, slog, and click on go. Sorry. Is it taken or not? If I go for slog, okay, and click on go, it will only show me the purchase requisitions related to that. So I can filter according to this much criteria: purchasing group, purchasing org, and material group. Now what this app is allowing me is, currently when I created a purchase requisition, I have not provided any supplier. Okay, so when you create a purchase requisition in ECC, normally if you know the vendor, you specify that. If you don't know the vendor, you keep it blank. And when you create a purchase order, at that time, in order to check which supplier, like whom are you going to uh, create this purchase order for, so you need to go to different screens. Like you will go for purchase info record, or you will go and see if there is some contract available for this material with some supplier. But there is no one common place where you can go and see like which suppliers I can choose. All right, so this is called as simplified sourcing. This particular, what you are able to see here, two sources. So system is automatically proposing you that these are the two options, these are the two vendors which can be directly used, which are uh, provided by the system directly. How? This is coming from the info record. The system is telling you that for this particular material, we already have two info records created, one for this vendor one and another for this test vendor. Okay, so apart from the info records, if you have some contracts created, some scheduling agreements created, that also will be available here. And you can choose, even if the same purchase order was created for the same material, that is also provided as a source, which will tell you, okay, you last time you given the purchase order to this particular supplier. So this is giving you additional flexibility, which is called as simplified sourcing. So this is just one only I can do this thing. Okay, so now I'm out of this. Let's go for these two sources. Try to select this vendor. So now you can see this vendor has been selected. Okay, and what I can do, I can click on this. There are two options open, create RFQ or create purchase order. So if you want to create a RFQ, if you click here, it will automatically generate the RFQ for this particular purchase requisition. If you want to convert this purchase requisition into purchase order, you can just click here, create purchase order, and you can see it is showing all the information. Just click here and click on submit. Okay, so you can see the purchase order has been created. These are the warning messages that we normally get even when we go for ME21N. Okay, and now if this is my purchase order number, let me just go to home. Okay, so we seen create purchase requisition, display purchase requisition can be used for the display, and manage purchase requisition. There is also this app called as create purchase order via purchase requisition. Okay, which is again the copy of the older screen that we were using in ECC. So if you have multiple purchase requisitions which you want to convert, you can also use this particular option, which is same screen that we were getting in ECC. Okay, apart from this, again, this is wherever you can see this advanced. If I click on this is nothing but the older screen. Okay, what old screen you were getting earlier, it is same screen, display purchase requisition. So don't go with this name. When you see advanced, it doesn't mean that this is something which is giving you the additional functionality. This is just saying that, let me just open, I'll show you. Yeah, so what is the difference between, let's say for example, if I go for purchase order, this create purchase order and this create purchase order advanced, what is the difference? Normally if we go with the name, advanced means this is providing you more features, or maybe this is something which is developed on top of this application, but that is wrong. I'll tell you why. So I shown you how to create a purchase requisition from purchase order. Now let me first show you how you can directly create a purchase order using a new screen. So I'll go for this, create purchase order. This is again a completely new app. Now there are two options. If you want to create a purchase order from scratch by providing the supplier number, material number, everything if you want to provide, you can just click on this create button. It will directly allow you to enter all the information. On the other hand, if you just want to copy the existing purchase order or maybe the info record or maybe the purchase requisition, these are the different options available. Not purchase requisition, these are the options available. So let's say if you want to create a purchase order by copying existing purchase order or creation of purchase order from existing purchase contract or maybe from the info record. So these three options are available. So it is showing you all the different info records, purchase orders and contracts. Now you can filter according to your requirement. Now I want to filter with S-log. Click on go. So it will only show me the information which is available on S-log. So it is showing me that for S-log, these are the different purchase orders which are created. So I can just copy one of this purchase order and proceed. So if I click on this purchase order, create, it will automatically copy most of the data. I think this is not working, at least one, just a minute. Yeah, this app is not able to copy because there may be some technical issue, but what it does is when you copy it, if you, let's try once again. So if I go for purchase order processing, okay, and create purchase order. So one option is let's see, resume. No, it is taking to the same screen. So no point in talking about this. Yeah, so if I go for create purchase order, I'm discarding this. So the first option is I can select the purchase orders which are already created. I can select the info record, or I can also refer to a particular contract. Normally, if this app works fine, you just need to click on this purchase order. For example, when you click on create, all the information is automatically copied. If you want to make some changes into that, you can obviously do that. Okay, so now for example, if I just remove this, and if I directly click on create, it will not take any copy. It will allow me to create from scratch. Okay, what I can do, whatever information I was entering earlier. So if I want to provide a supplier, I'll just provide the supplier name, let's say test, which we were using now. Okay, so I think this one, it has automatically copied the company code and currency based on the supplier. Purchasing group, let's say 001. Okay, and material, I'll just select it or selection criteria as slog. Let me write in capital. Sometimes it is case sensitive. Okay, so slog, double click here. Plant is again slog. Quantity by default it is providing as 10, and just try to submit this. Okay, so this is one way. Whatever you want to enter, delivery address, process flow, all this information can be entered. Then the question is, let me just save this first and then I'll tell you what exactly I mean. So the error is purchase order still contains faulty items. What is that? Net price must be greater than 0. So let me enter the price also here. General data, 1000. Submit. Okay, this is one of the error that we were also getting earlier. Maintain tolerance limit for tolerance key PE. We'll talk about this now. So let me go to, this is a normal error. This is not something which is only available in SAP S4HANA. Even in ECC, there were some tolerances which we need to maintain for invoice verification. So they were normally maintained in logistics general. Within this logistics general, there is invoice verification tab, logistics, no. Logistics invoice verification.
It's under materials management.
No, sorry, it is not in logistics general, it is in materials management. Sorry. Logistics invoice verification, and then incoming invoice, and there was some tolerance here. Yeah, configure supplier specific tolerance. I hope this was the error. This is one thing. Let me just see. Submit. One problem is normally you get the help information here. So some of the screens give you the help information where you can directly go from here and go to the path where exactly the configuration is required. So this is maintain tolerance limit for tolerance key PE. Okay, this is what, no, this is not the one that we are talking about.
Check it PO level now.
PO level means where exactly?
Purchase order node, because there we have over delivery and under delivery tolerances.
Okay. Purchase order. Tolerance limit,
here.
yes, this, yes, PE. Right. So let me just copy this. Okay, and we have our company code as slog. Okay, there is another also. It will ask for VP also. It is not available here. It will be available in the invoice verification, which was the error that Ravi was getting earlier. Okay, so now if I click on submit, the purchase order has been created. Now, what I wanted to show you is, this is how you can create a purchase order using the new screen. Okay, but this new screen may have some fields which were available in my previous transaction, that is ME21, and which are not available now. So what we will do in that case? Although SAP has provided you the simplified screen, earlier let's say there were 200 fields. Now SAP has made it simple and kept it only 50 or 60 fields which are normally required. That 150 fields, some of them fields will get the values automatically based on the input that you are making, and some of the fields may not be used from years, and that is the reason SAP has concentrated on only the fields which are required on day-to-day basis. But let's say your company has identified, oh, there is 1 or 2 fields which are not available. So in that case, although the option is available, you can contact your Fiori consultant to make the changes in your current layout, add that fields. But at the same time, if you don't want to waste the time and you want to make sure that whenever a user is entering the transaction, he should be allowed to do all the things that he was doing earlier, and you don't want him to go and log in into traditional GUI, that is the reason SAP has parallelly provided this advanced screen also. Purchase order, create purchase order, advanced screen, which is, I need to refresh this, I think. Okay, if I go for purchase order processing, this one, create purchase order advanced. If you click on this, as I told you, don't go with this name. It will open the same screen that we were getting in ECC. So if there are some fields which are not available in the new transaction, no issues. Use the older transaction and perform your, create your purchase order as you were doing in ECC. Okay, this is exactly same as what you were getting in ECC. Only thing is this is the new user interface, that's it. Okay, so you have this create purchase order which will allow you to create your purchase order using the new screen, and you also have this advanced tab which is the copy of the ECC ME21 screen which you can use from SAP Fiori also. Let's go for manage purchase order now. Now we created one purchase order. Okay, if I filter it by company code, let's go for slog. Okay, see, as I told you, in some of the screens it is not case sensitive, in some of the screens it is case sensitive. I use the lower case, but it is fine. If I click on OK, it is automatically converting to uppercase. Now I just created this purchase order, right? And you can see this is still under approval because this is still not released. Okay, now if I just go back, okay, when I open this, you can see this 9 are under approval. So this is what? This is giving you like a fact sheet. Although this is not a fact sheet, I'll tell you what exactly are the fact sheets. But this is very similar to fact sheet, which is telling you without entering into the particular transaction, outside itself you are getting the information, which is a report kind of thing. So for example, you don't need to go again and again and check here, like are there any things which are pending from my side? Okay, for example, if let's say you are a purchase manager who is going to approve these invoices. So there is another very important app called as My Inbox, this one. If you are a manager, if you are an approver for any kind of different things, it may be purchase requisition, it may be purchase order, it may be invoice. If you are responsible for a particular approval, all that things will come under your inbox. As soon as somebody creates that invoice, it will come to you and you will be getting this information here itself that you need to approve this. Currently, as you can see, this is not maintained here properly. That is the reason it is showing an error. If I click on this, it is not getting open. That is the reason it is not able to give outside also. Okay, but this is a very important app which will give you all the different things whatever are pending from your side, from the approval point of view. Okay, now if I go with the purchase order processing, if I click on this in approval, and if I click on, or if I provide my company code here, click on go. Okay, so it is showing me all the different status: in approval, not sent yet. Okay, follow on documents means this is already done. If I click here, if you want the information, you can just click here, it will take you to the purchase order. Okay, so this is taking you to the purchase order. You can see all the different kind of information about the delivery, invoice, address and communication which is coming from the vendor master. Output, if it is determined, it will be available here. Okay, so even if if you process this order, let's say for example if I go for this one, follow on documents. Okay, so follow on documents are what? When you process your purchase order, you normally go to purchase order history, right, to get the information. So you are getting all the information, like the good receipt is already done for this particular order. So for this particular app, follow on document app, the new app is still not available. That is the reason this is old screen again, which is replicated onto SAP Fiori. Once the new app will be available, if you click on the same thing again, you will get the new look of that particular screen. Okay, and if, let's say for example, if I use this, currently what I've done, I clicked on this, it has taken me to the new screen. If I click on back, if this is a completely new screen, this will take me to the SAP Easy Access screen. If you click on this, you will be able to see exactly what you are able to see in the traditional GUI. Okay, but these are all temporary. As I told you, going forward, when all the things will be available on the SAP Fiori, you will find that all these things can be done directly from SAP Fiori and there is no need of traditional GUI anymore. So as of now, many apps are simplified, but there are still some apps which are used as they were used earlier. So they are getting simplified every day. Like if you go through that particular Fiori Fiori app library, you will find every 2 or 3 days there is the update that this is a new app available or this app has been improved. Okay, let me again go back to this purchase order processing to see all the related apps. So manage purchase orders, as I told you, there is still not app available for release purchase order. Okay, normally you will be also getting the app called as release purchase order. The reason why it is not available because it is normally part of your inbox. So it will automatically come in your inbox. That is the reason it is not available here. Now if I want to release this, I don't have any option because the inbox is not working. I'll go from traditional GUI. Okay, so I'll go into this screen and I'll use the normal transaction which is ME29N. Okay, and I need to release this. Okay, now if I go back to this particular screen, if I just refresh this, this should turn into 8. See, that too, this is not coming from the entire database level. If you are only authorized for one company code or one purchasing org, this will only give you your figures. That is the reason it is completely role based. Whatever authorizations are given to you, it will only show you that particular figure here. Even if you go inside, it will only show you the invoices, the purchase orders for which you are authorized. Okay, so manage purchase orders, create purchase orders. Now if I go for the purchase order screen, if I In this, if I go for messages, now this is generated, right? Purchase order is generated to be output. Okay, and if I go for this print purchase order, I think this is the old one. Let's see. If you click on this print purchase order, this is the old screen, ME9, right? ME9F. If I go back, there is a new screen also available, which is print scheduled purchase orders. This is a new screen, right? Which we've seen already in the traditional GUI. So what I'll do, I will either provide the supplier or purchase of whatever I can provide. It will generate all the message outputted. So all the purchase orders will be sent to spool at one time, whichever are in the status to be output, they will be available for the output, and you can check in SP01. Okay, so this is something which I posted now. Let's see. Yes. No, sorry, this is 33.
Yeah, it
Okay,
actually
maybe
said there is an error. Yeah, there is an error actually when it displayed the pop-up.
No. That is not the error. I told you last time. It is although showing in the red mark, but normally that is not the error. It transfer to the spool. Let's see from here. ME9FF. Okay, and if I provide the SLOC, although it shows that red mark, see this message is message outputted under spool request. So spool request is created. If I go for SP01, it should show 30 and all this is fine. It is showing now. Why it is showing 33? That is okay. For 45, it is still not generating the output. What could be the reason? Let me specifically provide
Released.
release already done. We already released it. That is the reason it has now moved to, okay, let me see, manage purchase orders, slog, not sent yet. Okay, let me just go to display, sorry, change. Yeah, this is to be output, so this should be already sent. Output is not available because this is to be output, so this should be available for ME9FF. No relevant data found for output. Okay, let's see what is the problem. Okay, normally this should come automatically. Okay, this is the reason. This was not scheduled, this was automatically. So let's try now. Now it should come, but if it is 1, it should have come automatically in the first place itself. Let's try this now. We close all other screens. So if I go for, no, We go to home page and print schedule purchase orders. Okay, and if I provide the document number here, which is 45. Okay, and let's try to execute now. Now it is transferred to spool, and if I go here, yes, now it is available. But if it is 1, it should automatically go at first place. It should not wait for schedule job. But yes, from the schedule point of view, you can use this app, which is print schedule purchase orders, and it will be sent to the spool. So don't go with this red mark. Okay, although it is showing you the red indicator, but it is going to the spool. Okay, so then there are some analytical apps. If you remember, we talked about transactional apps and analytical apps. Transaction apps are what? Which are allowing you to do the transaction, like create purchase order, create purchase requisition, manage purchase requisition, print purchase orders. These are all related to the transactional apps. But there are some reports also, which will give you the report according to whatever data you posted. So let's go for my purchasing document items. I don't know if it will work or not. No, this is not working. I think this will work definitely. Display purchasing document by material. So this is exactly same as the current reports that you get, right? If I provide the material number or the plant here, only thing is now these reports are totally based on the CDS views. Okay, so earlier we were getting this information from all many different kind of tables, but now it is always going to be directly available from the CDS views, and the performance you will definitely find improvised. Okay, so this is how you can get the reports also. These are called as analytical apps. Okay, now let's try to do the further transaction, which means we want to do the gate receipt now. So I'll go for warehouse processing, which is another group in which there is an app called as post good receipt for purchase order, which is the app which is provided for transaction BIGO. If I click on this, oh, this was working till yesterday. That is the problem. Somebody, the Fiori guys are also taking training or something, which are playing with the standard apps. So this is a normal app which will, I think this we seen last time also, right? When I was just giving you the Fiori overview, there are some simplified apps which are available. It was working till that time. This is very simple to use. If you click on this post good receipt for purchase order, you just need to enter the purchase order number here and you click on item OK. Like item OK is here. You just click on here. Storage location, if it is not maintained, just enter here and click on submit. So it will generate the purchase, it will generate the material document. Let me see if there is another way of doing this. If I go for manage purchase orders, let me see from here if it is allowing me to do the gate receipt. Different apps can be called from one app. Like for example, from here, I can call different apps. Let's say if I just click here, okay, and as you can see, the different information is available. Output, it is still not showing. That is one thing that we need to check because we already outputted this. This is released and all the information you are getting here. Sometimes in some of the apps, you will get different information. Like for example, if I want to know what is the gate receipt number, if once I complete that, so there are some places from where you can select, I want to see the gate receipt. You can directly go from here. I don't see any other app. This was very good actually. postcode receipt for purchase order. This is normally used for purchase, for Migo. Okay, let's try to do this particular thing from the traditional GUI, and I'll just check this, what exactly is the problem. Okay, so I'll go to Migo for this purchase order, which is 45000 and last is 45. Okay, and try to click on item OK with storage location slog and try to save this. Now this is the another error. This is again same, we already done one configuration. This is another one, VP. This is for invoice processing, and I think it will allow to go from here itself. So again, this is very common thing. This is not something which is new. This comes under logistics invoice verification, invoice block, and set tolerance limits. This is already open. Let me just close this. Sorry. This is not taking me to the same screen. Let me just try to close this. No. Yes, set tolerance limits, and I need to copy this VP, which is for moving average price variance. If the moving average price is, there is a change in the moving average price, this is only applicable. And this is something which is available from years, so no need to worry. Normally we copy the company code, right? When we do any new implementation, or maybe in the migration, there is no point of doing this. But in case of new implementations, normally we don't start from scratch. We always copy one of the reference purchase org or plant, and we do the things. So normally these things are automatically copied from the standard best practices. But if you're doing from scratch, this type of errors comes when you need to do this maintenance. Okay, so now I think this was the error that earlier when we started the session we were getting, because Ravi was getting some dump. Now let's see if this dump was only restricted for Ravi, or it is also giving for our company code also. So let's try to post now. This is still giving the same thing. Let me just go out and do this again. Here we go. Purchase order. Okay, and I'll just click on item OK and storage location. Try to post. No, this is the problem with system now. So Ravi, this is not the error that you are only facing. This seems to be the system problem.
Okay, Gaurav. Thank you.
Yes, I'll just check this out. Yeah, just give me a minute. I have not realized there are a lot of questions on the chat screen. Let me just answer one by one before I proceed to the next thing. So these questions are asked by Raghu. Can you explain more on simplified sourcing, ECC versus SAP S4HANA? So simplified sourcing is a big topic. We are going to discuss in whenever we are going to talk about MRP processes also. But as of now, we just understood one thing, that whenever you are converting your purchase requisition to purchase order, so during that time, if the vendor is not known in the purchase requisition, system is automatically proposing you that these are the vendors which you can use. So it is giving you the option from info records or maybe the older purchase orders, which is helping you out in terms of, rather than going on to the different screen and trying to find which supplier should I use, it is giving you the information there itself. So this is only one scenario which we see it from the simplified sourcing point of view. There are a lot of such scenarios when we'll be talking about MRP. So that thing we'll discuss in detail.
No.
Yeah. The second question is, how is new OPD better than NACE in traditional ECC? What is the value for an existing customer to move into new OPD functionality? So as I told you, this OPD is not something which is giving the benefit to the customer. This is from the product point of view, because the future enhancements which we are expecting from SAP S4HANA, they are going to be Adobe based. Definitely, ultimately it is all customer. Customer will be benefited, but not as of now. Because if the customer is still interested in using the SAP scripts or maybe the smart forms that he was using till now, in that case he will not be able to use the new output determination. Okay, so as of now there are restrictions rather than the benefits. There are definitely restrictions if the customer is going for new output determination. But once all the things are available, definitely it has some benefits over the traditional SAP script and smart form, because the way it processes, it is different. And this BRF plus, as I told you, this is not only restricted to output determination. The plan is wherever condition based techniques are used as of today, they are planning to move everything to BRF plus, because that is the fastest technology. So this is just a starting point. So as of now, definitely no benefit to the final customer. That is the reason they provided the old option also.
So Gaurav, extending to that question, so does it mean that we'll have to rebuild all our smart forms? So basically, let's say there is a purchase order invoice output that is already developed. Yeah, as you know, I think I can say safely that no customer uses the standard output as is. They always have a lot of customization. So does it mean that we have to redevelop all those forms? If we
No. Currently, if I talk from 15.11, 16.10 point of view, no, because they are still available. The smart forms and SAP scripts are still available. But going forward, definitely yes, because again, yes means you definitely need to adjust that, but I don't think that you need to start from scratch. SAP will definitely provide some tools, some conversion programs, which will help you to convert your existing smart forms into PDF based forms. So that kind of things will be definitely available from SAP. But as of now, definitely no, because that is still available. Even from the new output determination, you can use SAP scripts and smart forms. You are still getting the options.
Okay.
Okay, the third question is, if this does not, yes, why ML is mandatory? So you mean to say that, see, ML material ledger is made as mandatory because there are a lot of simplifications made in material ledger functionality from simple finance point of view. So I gave you the example that day that today, if I am doing the normal inventory valuation, I am using around 10 tables which are used for normal inventory valuation. On top of that, if I am activating material ledger for some plants, again there are 10-12 tables. So today I am using around 20 to 22 tables, okay, which are only used for the inventory valuation. Now with SAP Simple Finance, SAP has already made the simplifications in material ledger functionality, due to which there are only 3-4 tables which will be updated in the background. Aggregates and all are completely removed.
That's
right.
Fine. Okay, that's database simplification. Correct.
Sorry?
So yes, I mean I understand the removal of aggregate index tables, and that makes it lesser database tables to access and faster reports, etc., for access as well. I think my question is in terms of when you say material is mandatory, what implications does it have from a system and from a business point of view on the, especially on the existing clients or even for new clients? Let's say, what does it mean for them? What implications does it have? What are the values, and what can be a problem as well? I mean, I'm more interested in the value that this
business point of view.
Business point of view.
Okay. See, making the material ledger functionality will not affect the business processes. Okay, first of all, business processes will be used as it is. If you are talking from the normal material ledger functionality point of view, there are a lot of benefits, like we discussed about parallel currency valuation. Like for example, yes, if you have a company which is operating out of India and you have the headquarters in US, and you want the materials movement should be done in both the transactions, both the currencies. In that case, that is a definite advantage, and a lot of customers are using that functionality. Apart from that, there is something called as actual costing, which gives you the actual costing throughout the different months. Like it is normally what happens is, let's say you have done some transaction today, let's say you have done the gate receipt at 100 USD and then you already sold that material which is out of stock, and then you realized that it was not 100, it was 130 USD, which was my mistake. So if the material is already gone, it is very difficult to update that prices and you need to perform the manual adjustments, right? So this actual costing comes into play in that kind of scenarios. It will automatically update based on what new information is available for the previous month transactions also.
So retrospective update also will happen.
Yes, that update also happens automatically. You don't need to do anything, and that will be completely tracked in the system also. So when you do the manual adjustment, it will not show you for which transactions you have done and what exactly you have done, because you are only going to do a lump sum adjustment. But in material ledger, that will give you the complete information. So that is only one scenario. There are a lot of such scenarios in actual costing. So these are all the optional things as of today, although they are available, but they are optional. Now, making mandatory doesn't mean that you have to activate parallel currency and you have to activate actual costing. We are only saying from the technical point of view that should be activated. It doesn't mean that you need to use the functionalities which are available in material ledger. We are only looking for, because the table levels will be, the table will come down. That is the only purpose of making material ledger functionality mandatory. So it will not impact the business. Even if they don't want to use, they have the choice. Only from the technical point of view, that must be activated.
So help me here, Gaurav. I understand what you're saying is basically activating this will help system performance. That's the main value I'm hearing, correct? And obviously the parallel currency option is available today even in ECC, correct?
All right. So that is still optional.
Yeah. So when you say even if they do not want to use actual costing or parallel currency, that is all still configuration, right? That is the same configuration of activating or not using or using. It's left to the clients, but it's mainly the system performance that is driving this rationale behind making ML mandatory. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Next question is, since Fiori is role-based, does it mean in case of migration, all the roles, etc. needs to be relooked? Yes, definitely. From the Fiori point of view, you need to have a complete discussion with the end users and the stakeholders which are involved. You need to see whatever screens they are able to see today. Let's say, for example, if the customer is already using ECC system and he is already using a lot of transactions, so that transactions will be definitely available to him after the conversion. Okay, but at the same time, if he wants to use the new screen of SAP Fiori, so there are separate roles for Fiori, not same roles will work. Right. So that roles must be assigned to the user before they start using the Fiori apps.
Right. Okay. So it's SE01 is the same place where these roles will be assigned, but the roles for Fiori and the traditional ECC roles are completely different. Correct?
Right. Right.
Okay.
There are separate roles. I'll show you. I already shown you some of the roles which I assigned, but I'll give you the complete idea.
Okay.
Okay. Next one is how is VIM integrated? VIM means vendor information management, or it is vehicle
vendor
information?
Invoice. No, vendor invoice management.
Vendor invoice management. Yes. So vendor invoice management integrated into SAP Fiori. Are you talking from the third-party software which is sending you the invoices through scanning or what?
I mean, see, you know the Vim transactions. There are a lot of Vim transactions that we traditionally.
Yes. I'll show you the transactions. I'll show you after. I'm already into that.
Okay. One is, are they integrated into Fiori? And in general, are they changing anything? Is there any changes in terms of in traditional ECC as well? On the Vim.
I'll talk about that. Next topic is that only. I'll come to that.
Okay.
And last one is Ariba integration into SAP MM in SAP S4. So as I told you, Ariba was till now Ariba Hybris. This is common to all. Ariba, Hybris, SuccessFactors, Concur, Fieldglass. These are all the products you must be knowing. These were the third-party products till now. SAP has purchased them one by one. Okay. So earlier when they were third-party products, SAP has or the third-party companies have provided the interfaces through which SAP was getting connected. But as you know, the vendors are different. So SuccessFactors was belonging to some other vendor and SAP was belonging to some other vendors. So what was happening is, normally the interface, as you know, if it is coming from the same company, the interfaces can be simplified. If there are different companies, then definitely there are some challenges in setting up that interfaces. So that is exactly what was happening till now. We had the interfaces, it was possible to connect Ariba to SAP, but again what you can say, the functionalities or interfaces or plugins which were required were very complicated, and the amount of time required to transfer the data from one application to another was taking time. Now, since all these things are part of SAP and these are part of the digitalization which SAP is talking about, so SAP S4HANA consists of the inbuilt interfaces with these technologies, which means you don't need to waste any extra effort in performing these integrations. They are already part of the SAP S4HANA core product. You just need to plug and play, as simple as that.
Right. Okay. So my an extension of that Ariba question is basically Ariba was an optional thing in the ECC world. Now, if I'm not wrong, based on some documentation I've seen, it's kind of integrated now, inbuilt, like you say, inbuilt into the S4 core. Which
No. There are
no, it's not.
These are two different things. It is integrated doesn't mean that it is available for free and it is mandatory for each and every customer. Not allowed.
Right.
It is integrated means if you have the requirement, you need to pay the licensing fees, but you don't need to invest the effort to create that interface. That is the reason it has been, yes, inbuilt. That is the only reason. But otherwise, the functionality and all is same. Yes. Okay. The last question is from Arijit. Can you show the customizing steps for material ledger again? Is it only OMX1 or there are others? We have seen two things, OMX1 and CKM start. So if you remember, OMX1 is also not sufficient if you are going for 1610. Earlier OMX1 was sufficient, but now in the SPRO I told you in 1610 there are some changes. There are some new things which are in place. So if I go for controlling, product cost controlling, material ledger, and here before this OMX1, this is a transaction for OMX1, these are two additional steps which are added, okay, which we see. So this is first, second, third. So this is OMX1, and after the OMX1 you need to go to transaction CKM start. Now why CKM start is required? So as I told you, you are activating the material ledger now. What about the old documents? In case of system conversion, when you were not using SAP material ledger till now, and now suddenly you are going for material ledger functionality, what will happen to the old documents? So you need to convert that old documents also into the new architecture. That is the reason you are running this CKM start transaction, which will automatically convert the old documents into the new architecture. Now, even if there are no documents, this is a mandatory step. So if you are going for the new implementation, normally we don't have any documents, but still this is required. Okay, so these are the only two things. Before OMX1, there are two steps that you need to follow, then OMX1, and then you need to go to CKM start. Right, Arijit, you got your answer? Okay. Now, let me just take you through the certification document, which is related to procurement. Most of the things we already talked. Okay, so let's cross verify whether we missed anything from the certification document point of view. For that, just give me a minute. Let me just download that document.
What certification are you talking about?
SAP has provided some trainings. They have some trainings which are offered on changes, innovations in procurement, innovations in sales and distribution, and innovations in manufacturing. So these are the three things that we are going to see, right? So procurement part we almost completed. So I'm just cross-verifying using the certification document. Have we missed anything? There are some small things which I'll be directly explaining you referring to the document itself. Okay, this document is getting downloaded. Today I'm going to take some longer session, maybe another 1 hour or so, just to complete this document because we haven't had the session yesterday. So till this document get downloaded, if you want, you can take a 5 minutes break. Okay, so I don't know how much time this will take, but we'll take a 5 minutes break. Fine?
Okay.
Okay, but be there in 5 minutes. Huh? We'll definitely start in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Hello.
we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, now it is downloaded. Just give me a minute. Let me share this. Yes. Can you see now?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is a document which is S4PR1. Okay, which means the innovations, you can see it is related to sourcing, procurement, simplification in detail, which means what has been changed in SAP S4HANA related to procurement processes. This is the training which is normally part of the certification. Whenever the logistics certification is going to come, this is from procurement point of view, this is the course, and from sales and distribution point of view, there is another such training which is provided by SAP, and then from manufacturing point of view, again there is a third document. Okay, the basics, like what exactly we discussed about SAP Activate, SAP HANA, SAP S4HANA, the basics of that are normally covered in S4H01. Okay, so I think all of this access is already available with you through the share drive. Just go through these documents, the S4H1 and now even this S4PR1. Apart from this, I already shared the simplification list with you. I told you how to download that document. So anyone, simplification list will give you just the brief about a particular point. This will give you little bit more little bit more detail, and whatever we covered, okay, that you will find that is even more than the theoretical, the practical part we covered in detail. So this will only give you the theoretical information like what exactly is available and all, but we already covered that in the practical also. Some of the things which are possible in the system, we already covered that. Apart from this, we may find in this document there are some things which are related to conversion. In case of system conversion, what will be done? So that is something which we are anyways going to see during the conversion process, which is towards the end of this course. Okay. So now let's go through this document and try to find it out if there are any topics which we missed out or we need some more explanation on that. Okay, so first introduction is just for the enterprise management. This you will find common in all the documents, all the trainings, which will give you the introduction of what exactly SAP S4HANA Enterprise Management is all about. We discussed that this is my core product, this is our core product, which is called as SAP S4 Core. And on top of that, you have the options of integrating it with the cloud offerings like SuccessFactors, Ariba, which provides you more flexibility. Okay, but again, as I told you, this doesn't mean that this comes with the box. Only the interfacing is inbuilt. The licensing part, the functionality part is still optional. It is not necessary to go for all these things altogether. What SAP is recommending is go with the best business practices for SAP S4 Core first, and then slowly, if you feel a requirement of going with SuccessFactor, Ariba, or maybe some third-party tools, go for that in the subsequent innovations. Okay, so the starting point is this. You will find this written in the document itself, the line which I said you. I'm just trying to find that where exactly that point is written. That start off with, yeah, customers can start with the basic component, add them later. Okay, so SAP S4HANA Enterprise Management is a great place to start. So start with the best business practices first of all, this core process, and later on, whenever you feel a need of going for the cloud offerings, you can activate it easily because now that is available, which is natively integrated. Okay, so this we already discussed. These are the introduction to some of, yes?
Yeah, if you go to the previous slide where you're showing the course system.
This one?
Yes. If I talk about Ariba, so I see that it's supplier collaboration and business network is there. So is it only two functions which Ariba will support, or it could be a whole component? I mean, how how it is different from the enterprise management?
Yes, this supplier collaboration and business network, these are the functions or the facilities features which are available in Ariba. Okay, but these are just the highlighters. Supplier collaboration is a big term. Like there are a lot of functionalities which comes under the supplier collaboration and the business network. But definitely yes, if you want to go for this, then you need to go for Ariba. They are not available directly in the core system.
Okay,
Right, Arijit?
so if I take Ariba, then I would get all the options that I'm getting in the core system, on-premise system, or I would have limitations when I take Ariba.
Sorry, can you just repeat?
So, are there any limitations if I take Ariba? So, for example, S4 HANA sourcing and procurement, that is in Ariba. So would I have the whole P2P cycle in Ariba, or I would have access to limited things in Ariba if I want to take?
I'm not able to understand your question completely.
No, actually,
Can you just repeat once again?
Yeah. Is there any limitations in Ariba? I mean, for example, if I talk about the P2P cycle, so is the P2P cycle available as a whole in Ariba, or I mean, have limitations if I use Ariba?
No. See, the core business processes that you were able to run in the core functionality as of now, they are still available within the S4HANA component. For that, you don't need Ariba. Ariba is over and above if you want to go with this additional features like supplier collaboration and business network, which is available as of today also. In ECC also, if you want to go for these functionalities, you need to create an interface which is like a third-party interface. But now this interface is available, which is natively integrated, which means it is plug and play. Apart from that, there are no further limitations. Whatever functionalities you are getting here, you are getting here, and whatever functionalities you are getting here, they are also available. So it is your choice whether you want to go for this or not.
Okay, so if I take Ariba, I will have the core, whatever is available in core, as well as I will get supplier and I'll get business network. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if you are connecting the interface with SAP S4HANA system, you will be getting both, definitely. So you'll be getting the features of Ariba plus the core functionalities.
Okay, if I take for the cloud version, I'll get the core as well as the cloud. That's what you say?
No, even if you go for cloud, in SAP S4HANA, this thing will be same. Irrespective of whether you are going for on-premise or you are going on cloud, this will be available as a native integration. Only difference will be if you are going with on-premise on SAP S4 and cloud, Ariba is only offered in cloud. So that will be kind of hybrid solution. On the other hand, if you are already on cloud in SAP S4 and you are still going on this cloud, so this will be complete cloud solution. That is the only difference.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is just again giving the same picture, like you can use the other third-party interfaces like Ariba, Concur, Fieldglass. So Ariba is used for the supplier collaboration, Fieldglass is used for vendor information system, and Concur is used for basically the travel and expenses part, which can be connected through the SAP interface. So these are the different kind of tools which are totally based on cloud. So that is the reason if you are using SAP S4HANA on-premise, you have to connect this via cloud, which means it will be the hybrid kind of solution. And if you are already on cloud, these are already the things available. You just need to pay the subscription fees on top of the enterprise management, and you can start using the systems which are already active. In case of cloud, these all things are already active. You just need to pay the subscription fees and start using these tools. Okay, this is again the same thing, what is available. So normal processes, the core business processes that we were getting till now, they are still available in the core enterprise management procurement. Over and above, if you want to go for the collaboration, self-service procurement, service management, travel and expense, and invoice workflow, then you can use these cloud-based offerings. So this is again and again just the different figures, but it is telling you the same thing, that if you want to go for the core functionalities, SAP S4 core is sufficient. If you want to use the functionalities which are not directly available in SAP S4, then you can go for this additional cloud-based offerings. Okay, so this is just giving you the benefits, like how the old screen was, how we were able to see the old screens and how this new screens will be available. So as I told you, new screens can be accessed from your computer, it can be accessed from your tabs, or it can be accessed from your mobile. So this is basically giving you the simplification which is offered by SAP Fiori. Okay, now let me take you to solution capabilities, streamline procure to pay. Okay, so these are the different groups under which SAP has divided the procure to pay cycle. So within the procure to pay, you have operational procurement where you go for requirement processing, purchase order, service purchasing, analytics. Okay, then you have inventory and warehouse management where you receive the goods, you issue the goods, pick and all the inventory related transactions. Then you have invoice and payables, how you process the invoice, accounts payables and all. Sourcing and contract management where you have scheduling agreements and the contracts. And finally, you have the reporting capabilities in the form of supplier information. So these are the different areas which are available as of today also in SAP ECC system. Now, how all these things are improved? Okay, that is exactly what SAP is going to show you in the next screen. So let me just take you here. This is all the same thing. See, same thing. Now here you are getting what is new in SAP S4HANA. So operational procurement was already available. Within that, self-service requisition was already available. What is new? So wherever you can see this green box, this means enhanced plus Fiori. So the way in which the requisitions were created, not only Fiori user interface is provided, but it has the enhanced functionality like simplified sourcing, right? We've seen the purchase requisition can be converted to purchase order via this source, simplified source. So the enhanced means there is some new functionality, enhanced functionality, plus there are new Fiori apps available. Requirement processing, nothing has been enhanced, but yes, Fiori apps are available. So that is blue, where there is no change, only new screens are available. Purchase order processing, again, you have new Fiori apps, but the process will remain same. Service purchasing, even as of now, there are no Fiori apps, so there is no change. So whatever service purchasing you will be doing, it will be done in the same way as you were doing till now. Purchase order collaboration, as we discussed, if you want to use the SAP Ariba network, that is the reason it is written as enhanced, which means the functionality will be enhanced if you are using the collaboration services which are provided by Ariba and the other interfaces that you have cloud offerings. Procurement analytics. So we've seen some of the Fiori apps which are related to procurement, like how many orders are created or maybe how many orders are in approval stage. So these are more in analytics which is provided by SAP. Okay, so enhanced means there are some new reports in the form of, as you have seen, like the outside itself it is showing you how many purchase orders are in the approval stage, plus Fiori apps. So rather than going on to the traditional screen and generating the reports, you can perform some of the reportings in the Fiori itself. So all these things are like in this document you will find some one or two info or examples provided for each and every scenario. From invoice and payables management point of view, there are few Fiori apps available for invoice processing. No changes in accounts payables. From finance point of view, AP, there is no change. Even in simple finance, from AP point of view, there was no change. From invoice collaboration, this is again related to Ariba and the cloud-based offerings. So what is invoice collaboration and purchase order collaboration? So in Ariba, normally there is a flexibility that whenever a supplier or you are creating a purchase order, so automatically that should go via this internal network to the supplier. As soon as you create a purchase order in your own SAP system, that should be available to purchase as a customer order into the into the vendor screen, into the vendor SAP system. And as soon as the invoice is created in the vendor system, that should be also available to you for looking into the your current system. So that is kind of invoice collaboration and purchase order collaboration, which is created via the interface with Ariba. That is the reason that is written as it is enhanced. Sourcing and procurement, source assignment, although it is saying no change, but there is simplified sourcing. We'll talk about that. operational contract management, there are some screens which are available from the contract point of view. Supplier information and master data, we'll talk about this. What is classification and segmentation? And supplier evaluation also, there are some improvements. We'll talk about that. Okay, so starting with operational procurement. Manage purchase or purchase requisition screen we have seen. Okay, so I'll just explain you one scenario, then you will understand what exactly this is provided. So requirements processing. Purchase requisitions where no source of supply has been assigned automatically by the system. The purchaser needs to do this manually. This is something which is true in ECC. So if I create a purchase requisition and if I don't provide the vendor, in that case, user need to check different screens to find out which is a supplier. Okay, so by displaying automatically all available sources of supply, now as you see, when you go for manage purchase requisition, you can see for a particular purchase requisitions, system proposes the different sources and you can select the sources which you want. You can select a supplier from the list of available sources. So SAP S4HANA increases significantly the efficiency and speed of source of supply assignment process. So user is definitely going to save the time, okay, because earlier he needs to go to different screens to find the supplier. Now it is available on the same screen. So this is one of the improvised SAP Fiori apps which will reduce the transaction type to convert the purchase requisition into purchase order. Okay, so what are the unique values you are getting? System proposes automatically set of available sources of supply to facilitate and accelerate assignment of source of supply. No time consuming back and forth searching by providing dynamic and flexible search and filtering across entire list of open purchase requisition. You don't need to go backward and forward to find the supplier. And you can group, filter and download capabilities of open purchase requisitions. Not only that, as I told you, if you click on the available sources, even if there are multiple sources, you can, let's say for example, as I told you, the info records, the old purchase orders and the contracts. It gives you the complete information like out of that three, which one you want to use. So that is kind of flexibility which is provided in this new app. Okay, similarly you will find there are different scenarios explained. Let's say for example, again within the requirement processing, this is a second scenario where there is no change in the data model, there is no change in the simplification item, but SAP has provided a new Fiori role for manage purchase requisition. My purchase, we seen this manage purchase requisition, right? And my purchasing documents item, this is second app which is available for the user. Like for example, if someone has created a purchase requisition and he wants to see whether what is the status of my requisition, what I created, what is the status. So you can see this particular app. Okay, Fiori manager role, you can approve the purchase requisitions. Okay, so that needs to be assigned to that particular role. So there are roles. There are two roles. One is Fiori purchaser. This is the purchaser who is going to raise a request, and this is a manager who is going to approve the purchase requisition. I think in our case, I have not assigned this particular role. I don't think I was able to see the approve purchase order because I may not have assigned this role. That is the reason it was not available to me. But if I assign this particular role, I can go and use this app to approve the purchase requisitions. So these are the new screens or Fiori apps which are available from the requirement processing, which is purchase requisition point of view. Again, it is showing the same thing, the same scenario it is trying to explain from various angles. So earlier you were using this report to find the relevant vendor. Now you can just click on sources of supply and it will be available to you. And these are the benefits. It was time consuming, back and forth, and creation of purchase order is created via batch input report. Now dynamic search and filtering, because here you can provide the filtering criteria based on which it will only show you that purchase requisitions. Changing the search parameters is the same thing. Automatic proposal of available info records or agreements, and direct creation of purchase order. You can click here and you can click on create purchase order. Coming to purchase order processing, we have seen this new app. You can directly create a new purchase order using this screen, or you can also copy the existing purchase order, which will automatically copy most of the data, and you can just make the changes. Okay, so this will also tell you the benefits compared to the traditional system. So you already seen the process now, like how exactly we need to create. So let's talk about what is going to change here from the purchase order point of view. So data modeling point of view, there is no change, right? There are no table level changes. Replacement of foreign trade features, which we discussed. Foreign trade functionality is not available, and GTS is the only solution. Same replacement has been done in sales order processing also. So foreign trade functionality is not only stopped from procurement point of view, but also from the sales point of view. New simplified pricing that we discussed. Simplified pricing means KONV has been replaced with PRCT underscore elements, and the number of accesses has been increased from 99 to 999. And the new output management. There is new output management in place. All these things will come in detail later on. So Fiori purchase role. This is create purchase order, which we have seen. Manage purchase order also we have seen. This one was not working. Purchase order value. This is like a what I can say. This is like a fact sheet, which gives you the KPI. This is a KPI app, which normally you run this type of transactions in BI tools. But now there are some Fiori apps which are available on your Fiori screen itself. You don't need to go to BI, because now reporting has become very simpler. So what I'll do is, currently I have not assigned this buyer role. I think that is the reason I was not able to see this app. I will try next time. I'll just assign this role and I'll show you this 1 or 2 fact sheets, how exactly they look like. Okay, again you have Fiori manager role, which is to approve the purchase order. Normally, as I told you, this comes under the inbox. So all these things are normally not required. If you have the inbox, it will come all the approvals, whether it is related to purchase requisition, purchase order, invoice, everything will come to your inbox. Okay, same thing, how the purchase order was created earlier. There were a lot of process steps which are reduced now in SAP S4HANA. Analytics, as we discussed, that now the analytics will be faster because we have the CDS views in background. So these are some figures like how your reportings will work faster, and 16 KPIs, as I told you. I'll show you this this particular point I'm mentioning down, that I want to show you this KPIs which we missed. We'll talk about this. I'm just moving to the next thing. KPIs are something which we need to discuss. Apart from this, I'll try to find out what are the different things which we missed, and then we'll see all this in detail. Okay, this is related to, this is not available as of today. If you remember, I told you SRM functionalities, the functionalities which you get in SRM and supplier catalog management, which is I think it is SCL or SLM, sorry. Just a minute. SCM, supplier catalog management, which is like if you are creating the purchase requisition from the, like normally as you do in whenever you are buying something from the online site. So you get all the different kind of products which are available. You select and you say, I want this. So that list of catalog which is available product wise, that normally comes within the catalog management functionality, which is now going to be available in the SAP S4 core system itself. Not as of now, but this is something which will come in future. Okay, so if you see this, I'll show you this. This document is related to 1511. Okay, so I recommend if you are able to download 1610 from somewhere, or maybe we can ask Krishna if he can provide us that document. 1610 will give you more things which are already done, because this document is also talking about the functionalities which were just in the plant stage. But there are, in 1610 if you go, it will tell you what exactly is available. So this particular thing you will not find in 1610. Okay, I'll just go through this. It's the same thing. Yeah, this is Ariba network. Okay, how the ordering will be done and how the invoicing will be done. So through Ariba network, whatever invoices you will, whatever orders you will create, they will be transferred to Ariba, and whatever invoices will be created, that will be transferred to your network. So what is available? Data modeling, no change. Simplification item is in the cloud edition. These are the options available, which is completely automated technical Ariba integration setup, which means it is providing you the native integrated solution. And also business setup for Ariba integration with simple Fiori. Yes, this is very important. When we are saying that the Ariba is natively integrated or Hybris is natively integrated, what about the user screen, from where exactly you will be doing the Ariba transactions? So no need to worry for that also, because Fiori, the same Fiori user ID and password what you are using, it is going to connect to you to the multiple softwares at the same time. Software means multiple landscape. For example, if you are using ECC plus CRM plus SRM plus Ariba, so you don't need to go into separate Fiori screen for each of these applications. Using a same user screen, you can have the apps, some of the apps coming from CRM, some of the apps coming from SRM, and some of the apps coming from Ariba. So using the same screen, you can do the Ariba transactions also. So it is completely integrated with native integration that we discussed. This is again the same thing, invoice collaboration, which will talk about the same thing again, Ariba. Okay, let me come to the important topics that we discussed, like material ledger and all. So this is the Fiori screen for supplier invoice. We will see, because currently we are not able to see the Migo. Once we come to that, I'll show you the Miro also, how exactly you can do that. And I think after this, I will show you 1610. You will feel more comfortable, because there are a lot of things which are not very important mentioned here. But if you go for 1610, it is clearly specifying whatever is available in a very good manner. Source assignment, again this is same thing. So this, as I told you, source assignment, we just completed partial of that part. When you see the MRP, you will see a lot of things which are related to source assignment. But this must be related to the this one only, the thing we discussed from the PR procurement point of view. Yeah, now I think, no, after this, you'll find most of the information which is related to the simplification list. I'll talk about supplier evaluation also. Just let me go through the simplification list first. Yes, cross topics. Okay, so what are the Fiori apps available for procurement? You might feel the difference between this screen and the screen that we are seeing, because we are seeing the screen of 1610. And if you remember, I told you that from Fiori point of view, the screens that we were using in 1511, the version was 1.0, and now in 1610, Fiori has been again improvised, and now we are using 2.0 version. So you may find some differences in the way the Fiori screens are looking like. They are being improvised now. We talked about inbox, so whatever number of you will be getting the approvals, see like this. Please release purchase order this. Okay, so this is related to the purchase order approval. Once I go to my inbox, this will be, I'll be getting this type of request for approval. I need to click on a particular request and click on approve. Approve or reject, you can see here. Okay, so this is also the Fiori app, which will be used for approving, which is inbox. What are the benefits? So in the traditional system, business workflow launched in SAP GUI. Normally we use the business workflow. After selecting the work item to be processed, overview list of all the items disappears. This is the problem in ECC. And no mobile approval with business workflow and SAP GUI available. Now you can execute all the tasks in one screen. The most important thing is you don't need to go to separate screen for approving the different applications. Okay, what if you are an approver, you will be getting all that information in one single inbox. Okay, so you keep work items list while processing single work item, and mobile approval possible. Filter and sort list of work items. You can filter, you can sort according to your own requirements. These are all the Fiori point of view, but I am more trying to show you the functionalities that we discussed. If you see the 1610, it is mainly concentrating on the functionality point of view. So once I complete this, I will show you that also. This is again Fiori apps for procurement. You already have the complete list of all the different Fiori apps, right? I already shared the Fiori apps library. So even if you go through this 1511 document, there are a lot of new apps which you will be able to see in Fiori Launchpad. Sorry, Fiori app library. Okay, now from here, the functionality starts. Earlier it was all Fiori, like how Fiori has made life simple. So material number field length, we discussed that in SAP S4HANA, system can support a maximum number with 40 characters. The maximum field length of material number is extended from 80 to 14 characters. So as I told you, all the standard tables are already taken care. In all the tables, this material length has been extended from 18 to 40. In case of some Z transactions or Z tables, you need to check whether the adjustment can be done automatically, or if not, the custom code analyzer tool will tell you where is a problem. Okay, in case of the distributed landscape where you are transferring the data from one system to another system, you need to take care, because it should not happen that you are sending the material length of 40 characters to the application which is only supporting 18 characters. So there will be data loss. So you need to be very careful for the distributed landscape. Okay, how to do that? This is also given here, which we already seen in the system. Related SAP notes you will be able to find. Changes in the MRP fields, this we have still not discussed, because we'll be discussing when we'll be discussing the MRP functionality. Okay, but there are not much of changes. Whatever it is, we'll talk about that. SRM and supplier lifecycle management. This is the thing, SLC. So these are the two things which are going to be co-deployed. Okay, so let me show you. The scope of SAP SRM will gradually be made available within SAP S4HANA. As I told you, SRM, CRM functionalities, whatever is available in them today, it is going to be part of the core system going forward, not as of now. As of now, SRM, CRM can work as they were working earlier. But going forward, the functionalities which are available in SRM and CRM, they will be part of the main core system itself. Okay, so same thing is written. Vendor evaluation based on LIS. Earlier there was a LIS functionality. Okay, now we are, as I told you, from the reporting point of view, we'll be only using CDS. So although this LIS is available as of today, but SAP is strongly recommending to go for CDS views, which means that reports, instead of using the old reports that you are using, there is no change in the functionality. It is just saying instead of using the old reports, now SAP Fiori offers lot of reports which are available from the CDS views point of view. So if your role is for a particular, let's say for example, if you want to evaluate a vendor, so there must be some role assigned to it. If you assign that role to that user ID, you'll be able to see that reports from the Fiori point of view. Subsequent settlement, this we will discuss from SD point of view because we have the scenario which we can talk about. Shopping cart, no more available. I don't know how many of you are aware of this, even I was not working on this shopping cart functionality. Output management, the target architecture is based on Adobe Server and Adobe Forms only, as we discussed today also. And if you go through this 1511 document, it will clearly say that there is no option available for NEST. NACE, NAST is not available. But if you go for 1610, you will get a clear idea that it was not available till now, but now it is available in 1610. And if you want it to be available in 1511 also, there is a SAP note.
So sorry, so I thought that the option to activate or deactivate this new functionality is only in 1610. Is it also available in 1511? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 1511 it was not available earlier, but now after it came for 1610, SAP has also released one SAP note through which if you implement that SAP note, same functionality will be available in 1511 also.
Okay.
Okay, MDM catalog, I think this is again one of the functionality which was related to self-service procurement, which is a separate, I think, component altogether. So SRM, as I told you, SRM will be integrated with SAP S4HANA. So going forward, this will be part of the SRM functionalities which will be embedded within the SAP core system. Waived infra applications, if you were using earlier, they are not going to be supported in SAP S4HANA. The reason is now you have the SAP Fiori apps and coverage, as we are discussing again and again, the coverage of SAP Fiori application will grow over time. So day on day basis, you will find there are some changes in the Fiori. There are some simplifications in the existing apps and there are some apps which are keeping on adding on day-to-day basis.
Sorry, I missed one thing. The SRM part, what is happening to SRM? Is it already available in 1610 or is it going to be made available?
It is going to be made available. So as of now, if you are using, yes, no, it is not. If you are using SRM, so currently you will continue to use the same SRM functionality, but going forward, CRM, SRM, even APO, all these things, APO, EWM, from EWM point of view, there are some things which are available in 1610 on the core system itself. But if I talk from CRM, SRM, APO point of view, the functionalities are still not merged within the same core system. But going forward, they are going to be part of the core system itself. So you don't need a separate box for these functionalities. Okay. These transactions which were already old transactions, I don't think anybody is using these transactions as of today, at least this, but yes, MR01, MR1M normally we use sometimes. So these are not available and the reason is that the already for ME21, 22, 23, 124 and transaction is already available. So these are the transactions which we are using from years and now, although I think in 1511 if you try, let me just show you. In 1511 if you try, they still work, but they are not going to be in the target architecture. Means going forward they will be completely deleted. As of now, even 1511 it is available. So SAP supplier lifecycle management are not available with SAP S4HANA 1511. How many of you know what exactly is this SLC? Have you worked on it? Anybody? Okay, the reason is that the functionalities which are available in the separate box as of now, some of the functionalities are already going to be available within the SAP S4HANA core system, but that is going to be in the future. So as of now, if somebody was using this tool, then definitely they will not be able to use that functionalities because they are not available as of now. Going forward, some of the functionalities when SRM will be merged, some functionalities will come with that in SAP S4 core system itself. So that is the reason it is clearly written. We recommend that you evaluate on the project basis whether you want to use supplier and category management or whether you want to use SAP SLC as a standalone system to leverage the full functionality scope of SLC. What do you mean by this? It is saying you evaluate on the project basis whether you want to use supplier and category management. So as I told you, the functionalities which are available in SLC, they are going to be part of SAP S4HANA core system under the name supplier and contract management. Okay, so you need to decide whether you want to use these functionalities which are directly available in the SAP S4 system or you still want to use the SLC functionalities which were available in the traditional system. But this is not in the target architecture. Going forward, this will be completely deleted. So it is strongly recommended to go for this. So you'll find some of the places where it is clearly written that these are not supported, but when you check in the system, it is something which we can expect that it is written because they will not be available in future. Foreign trade and GTS, we discussed foreign trade functionality. It is only available for intrastate reporting. Otherwise, GTS is a solution. And for the customers who are using foreign trade functionality, they need to be very clearly specified that this functionality is no more available. Another functionalities like commodity management, which is again the very obsolete functionality, is completely switched on, which is not available anymore in SAP S4HANA. Okay, and this is also something, the automatic document adjustment. This I need to check because there is some change in this functionality in 1610. I'll come back to you on this. So one thing was MRP and this is the second thing. I'll just explain you
One thing, Gaurav,
later on.
Yes?
Yes?
So the document adjustment means what? See, is that way we used to attach documents to the say purchase orders or service orders, etc.
No. It is not. No. It is not the attachment. It is the adjustment. So what it is trying to say is, just a minute, the direct entry function is activated per default for document categories to simplify the creation of work list entries. I need to check this. I'm also not sure about this.
No
yes.
But
Okay.
no changes to the attachment functionality, right?
No. Attachment is same. No. This is something else. This is not related to the attachment.
All right. Okay, thanks.
That is the reason I'm saying you. If you I think it. Yeah, sorry. I think it will be good if we go through 1610 because a lot of things are explained in 1511 which are still not in place. So just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, please.
So the next point on alliance structures. What happens to them? So there are a lot of assignments and alliance structures that SAP uses, S111, S6, a lot of reports, etc. So
MIS structure means what?
LIS, Logistics Information Systems.
Okay. Yes. So LIS is currently supported even in 1610 also they have written the same thing, that LIS is not considered as a target architecture, which means it will not be available in future. And SAP is strongly recommending that now there are already some new reports, CDS views which are available. On top of that, let's say for example, we normally use LIS for the vendor evaluation to find out how the vendor is doing. So now, even in the future, SAP is trying to give there is the segregation between hard facts and soft facts. Hard facts are which are like from the system, hard facts are from getting the evaluation from the employees. For example, like creation of questionnaires, and getting the information from the employees, like how exactly this vendor is performing. And soft facts are bringing the data from the table levels, like what exactly are the history of this particular vendor, whether he is delivering on time or not. And both of this will be compared using the CDS views, which is a new report, which is, as I told you, SAP is going to come up with. So you'll be getting the complete information using the new report rather than using the alias structure that we were using till now. So although it is still supported, but it is not considered as a target architecture.
Okay, so my understanding from this conversation is basically those reports that were using alias structures, etc. Of course, eventually the target architecture, like you say, and like SAP says specifically, it is going to be replaced. So as of now, do I, as a consultant, need to know what are the CDS views available, or do I only worry about, of course, the reports, theory apps will be in the form of theory apps, and they are based on the CDS views. So I should be bothered only about the theory apps that are available, or if you know what I mean.
See, as of now, you will not get the complete vendor evaluation if you rely on Fiori apps. Okay, so SAP is suggesting that you make a, like, whatever apps are available, you use that app, start using that apps, but later on when all the functionalities which are available in Alias as of today are going to be available in Fiori, they are also going to completely delete all the functionalities which are available in Alias. So currently you can use parallel. You can use SAP Fiori apps for the functionalities or the reports which are directly available, and you can also use Alias for some of the reportings which are still not available on Fiori.
Right. Okay, so I know we did talk about Fiori apps. We've seen Fiori apps, etc. But that we mostly, or rather we browsed mostly the existing Fiori apps. So let's say I want to develop a new Fiori app as a functional. What do I need to know? Now, for example, I am placing my Fiori app. So the apps can be a transaction itself, representing a transactional apps, or a fact sheet, as in a report, analytical report, for example, etc. So I believe more than the transactions, we will definitely end up developing our own apps for reporting purposes, not reporting purposes. Correct? So what do I, as a functional, do I need to know, and especially around the CDS views, etc. What is that we need to know?
Yes.
I mean, if not in this session, can we talk about this in a different session, please?
Yes. So I'll talk about that from Fiori point of view. Although we discussed this, but I'll talk about this in detail. Okay. So what I suggest is, I'm not finding this document of what I was planning to show you, and this is something completely old one. So what I think is, maybe in the next session, we are meeting tomorrow itself, right? I think it has been communicated to all of you. So
hi, Gaurav, is Vineet here as well. What time?
Yes.
He was saying 7 a.m. in the Indian time, so it would be very
Yes.
early for you. It would be like, for me and Raghu, it would be like, I think 4 o'clock, Raghu, right? No,
Yeah,
3
3
o'clock.
o'clock.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. You are from UK?
Yeah, me and
Yeah.
Raghu.
Okay.
That would be too early for us. Can we not put any other timing or anything?
For that, I
Is
think.
that time
Sorry.
Okay. If that timing is coming to most of the maybe next Saturday, or either we can stay back extra or start early if that is an option.
Probably like, yeah, on the next weekend, or we can put something on Friday, next Friday, probably in the evening. We don't mind.
That should be like suitable for all. That is a problem.
Yeah,
Otherwise, what we can, otherwise what we can do is, maybe like today we extended for around 1 hour, so we can follow the same thing for next 2-3 classes.
I'm okay with
because
that.
I know there are some cancellations. Normally we don't do this type of cancellations, but for this particular batch, I'm really sorry, because I'm getting some kind of work due to which I was not available yesterday. So what I will do is, how many of you, like Raghu, and apart from that, what about others? Are others available tomorrow?
Yes. Yes, Vijay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if we move by 2 hours, what about, let's say, instead of 7 a.m., if we start at 9 a.m., how many of you are on problem?
9. What would
I'm
be 9?
good.
Tomorrow 9 a.m. in the morning.
9
I'm
a.m.
fine.
9 a.m. India 9 a.m.
5 in the morning.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
actually
that will be.
tomorrow won't be available tomorrow.
Arijit, you are not available tomorrow. Any timings?
Sorry to interrupt you, Gaurav, here. This
Yeah,
is
actually,
Niraj.
I have office
Uh,
tomorrow. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
Gaurav,
Hiraj.
I
Sorry,
guess
not,
like
not knowing.
ideally it would be better like your idea, like we'll extend every day, every session 1 hour extra so that everyone will be
Mhm.
aligned properly. Instead of if we put tomorrow's session again, most of the people may not be available due to the timings difference. Some of them are from EST time zone, from EST time zone, and IST and UK time zone. So that's really going to be very difficult for everyone to accommodate for tomorrow's session.
What about Friday? If we take a normal timings, whatever 8:30 IST,
Yes,
Friday, are you all available?
I guess
Yeah,
everyone
Friday
will
would
be.
be alright. Yeah.
Friday there is
Uh,
not
Yes.
any problem with
is
everyone.
there is there any no at 8:30 p.m. on Friday IST?
No problem.
So that's going to be 5th of
But
May. 5th of May IST.
yeah, but Gaurav, if we extend an hour each day, it'll be 3 hours, and we need to digest all this. I mean, 2 hours itself
No,
is
that is a
overwhelming.
Vijay. That is the reason I'm asking you Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Friday is a
Right.
workable solution.
Yep.
Right.
That
Right.
would be
So if
brilliant.
everybody is fine with
Yep.
Friday, we can have the session on Friday.
Yes.
Okay.
What time on Friday, Gaurav?
Same time. 8:30 p.m. IST.
is it a
8:30
normal
p.m.
session or it is a different session? Will we continue from where we left or it would be a
But
different
one second, 8:30 p.m. ISD means what will be CST time? Is it one day,
Same as now, Ravi. Same time as now. It'll
Friday
be 10
morning?
o'clock. It'll be 10 o'clock your time, Friday morning.
Friday morning, right? Friday morning we'll be having offices, right?
Oh, it is 10 a.m. for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be tough.
I think, I think the best option is at least only
Friday
2 sessions.
probably we can try.
So only for 2 sessions next this weekend. Can we extend by 1 hour each, or that is an option? I understand it's too much to digest. Totally agree. But it only for this weekend.
Okay. No, anyways, I think the next topics, what we are going to discuss for next 2-3 weeks, or sorry, not next 2 sessions, they are not going to be very difficult because we are going to talk about the changes in SD. So almost all of you are like the basic things from SD point of view, they already know. So it is not going to be too much. So let's do one thing. I think that will be better option instead of asking anybody to not attend the session. Let's keep it on the normal timings itself, Saturday and Sunday, and let's try to follow the same timings.
Yeah, sounds good, Gaurav.
Okay, Hiraj?
Yeah, sounds good, Gaurav. So let's have the same
Okay.
timings and we'll extend 1 hour or depends upon the participants' interest.
Right. See, it all depends. See, one thing, please let me tell you, don't worry or don't be in a hurry for completing this, because at the end of the day, we want to understand each and everything rather than keep doing it fast. Right. Only thing is sometimes I'm also like a working professional, so sometimes I also need to go to office. Yesterday, same thing happened. And I'm also, see, it is something you must understand that working professional, we don't have that much flexibility or some kind of that. So if there is work in the office, I can't say anything no to them. So I'll try my best to have these sessions on time, but it may happen sometime. So we need to be prepared for that also. At the same time, don't worry, it is not going to be cancellation of multiple sessions. I'll try to take the sessions on regular timings, and definitely we'll be able to finish it on time. So don't worry that we'll be extending by 2 or 3 weeks. That is not going to be happen at all.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I am again not in a hurry, like you say.
Right. There is no point in being in a hurry. Yes.
Gaurav, one quick question. For the certification, is there we have to take, is there a certification for entire simple logistics, or is it broken down into these S4HANA?
No, as of Ravi, as of now, Ravi, there is no certification as of now, but the initial plan was to have the certification on entire logistics parts, only the innovations, not the entire functionalities of SD, MM and PP, only the innovations, like what has been simplified.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So there will be certification in the entire simple logistics, only the new additions.
Exactly, it will be only on the Delta part.
And it's not there yet, right? The certifications
It is not there yet. Trainings are available as we discussed this SAP PR. We are discussing PR1. So this is related to procurement. Similarly, there are trainings on SD and PP also. But certification is still not launched. It was expected in September 2016. We are almost late by 6 months. We don't know what is the plan actually. So maybe in some time we'll be able to see exactly what is available.
Okay, thanks. Just let us know via email or something once that short dump is fixed, so we can play with the system.
Yes,
week.
Yes. I'll speak to Krishna now itself.
Yeah, we'll do that one.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.